The realm of Saint Stephen was in a state of complete feudal anarchy. The powerful noble families known as the oligarchs fought against each other for more land and more power in the realm. But they all agreed on one thing: the realm needed a king, preferably not a powerful king. But with the death of the last Arpad of the direct male line, the question was, who was the legitimate king? Is the legitimate king one with some relation to the previous king, or is he one that is elected by the nobility of the realm? And how is his legitimacy to be recognized? Well, the rules of legitimacy are going to start getting made up. Well, not completely made up. There is some traditional basis to this, though it is imperfect. Even before the passing of Andrew III, there were 3 other possible pretenders. One of them was Charles Robert d'Anjou, son of Charles Martel d'Anjou, grandson of the King of Naples, Charles II, of the French dynastic house of Capet d'Anjou. Charles Robert arrived in Dalmatia and Croatia in the last years of the reign of Andrew III. There he met with his supporters, the Ban of Dalmatia and Croatia, Paul Šubić, and the Hungarian oligarch Ugrin Cisak. For their support they had been promised an obscene amount of rights and privileges that Charles did not yet even have the power to actually give. Soon after the death of Andrew III in early 1301, with the blessing of Pope Bonifacius VIII and his supporters, Charles Robert was crowned in Esztergom by Gregory the Archbishop-elect of Esztergom, with a provisional crown, some sort of golden diadem or other headwear. But this coronation received a resounding no from the competing nobility of the realm, citing tradition. They said that Charles Robert d'Anjou was not the legitimate king. He was, after all, not crowned with the Holy Crown of Hungary, which was not in his possession. He was not crowned at Székesfehérvár, the historical site of previous coronations, a town which would not open its gates to him, and the archbishop that crowned him was not fully confirmed to his office yet by a very, very stubborn pope. The other nobility that conveniently had the Holy Crown in their possession and were allowed to enter Székesfehérvár invited Wenceslas Przemysl, Prince of Bohemia and Poland, to become the new king. They had him crowned in Székesfehérvár by the Archbishop of Klaić. To this, Charles's supporters and some of the other nobility refused to recognize Wenceslas, as he was also not crowned by the Archbishop of Esztergom. The conflict between the two pretenders continued for a while, as the two found themselves at a stalemate, with little to no help from the oligarchs, most of whom were not fully cooperative. But this game of grand strategy developed in favor of Charles Robert. He managed to sway most of the clergy of the realm to his side, as he was supported by the Pope, and a large part of the clergy disliked the oligarchy for undermining order, desecrating the rule of law, and taking church property. And Charles Robert had acquired the support of Duke Rudolf III of Austria and Emperor Albert I von Habsburg, who were conveniently at the same time competing for the crown of Bohemia, which already put them at odds with Wenceslas. By 1304, Wenceslas had withdrawn to Bohemia, taking the Holy Crown of Hungary with him. In 1305, his father died, and Wenceslas III ascended to the throne of Bohemia and the contentious crown of Poland. He abandoned his claim to the realm of Saint Stephen, sending the crown jewels to another pretender, Otto, Duke of Bavaria. Wenceslas would not survive long on the throne of Bohemia, dying a year later. Otto entered Hungary with little to no support. He was crowned with the Holy Crown at Székesfehérvár by 2 bishops. Again, people cried foul. Otto sort of wandered around the realm, looking for some more support, and in 1307 he was captured by Ladislav Khan, the voivode of Transylvania, who took the crown away from Otto and told him to go home, which Otto did. Charles Robert now had a clear path to the throne. It was now a matter of jumping through the hoops of legitimacy. In 1307 Charles Robert summoned a diet on Rakosh Field, where a portion of the nobility declared him the legitimate king. And in 1309, in order to bolster his legitimacy, a papal legate, Cardinal Gentile de Montefiore, crowned Charles Robert, again, in Buda, with a new crown that had been consecrated by papal authority. But that was again not good. A lot of the nobility refused to recognize Charles's legitimacy. Again, to reiterate, he was not crowned with the Holy Crown of Hungary, he was not crowned at Székesfehérvár, and he was not crowned by the Archbishop of Esztergom. So Charles tried again in 1310, after he got Ladislav Khan to give him the Holy Crown. And on the 27th of August, 1310, Charles I, Robert d'Anjou, was finally crowned with the Holy Crown of Hungary at Székesfehérvár by the Archbishop of Esztergom as the legitimate apostolic King of Hungary, Dalmatia, and Croatia, etc., etc., etc. But this coronation was lacking in one respect. A lot of the oligarchs were not in attendance. After being frustrated by them at almost every turn, Charles was going to take care of the oligarchs.